Hello, welcome back to IT Landy Azure course. Earlier we spoke about the express route, and prior to that one we spoke about the structure, VNET, subnet, and so on. For today, we will be covering the load balancing and how that works with the express route and with other like basically components and tools. Yeah. So when we speak about the express route, and then later on we will do the NSG. So it's internal and internet facing. We have layer 4, TCP, UDP, and 5 tuple hash resources, SNAT, port forwarding, multiple load balancing, custom HTTP, and you can see the IP from 168.16, port 80 to the load balancer, and the load balancer basically will channel it back to my VMs, health check, and so on. This is the Microsoft internal load balancer, which you can see it with most of the services. How that will work basically. We covered earlier, before I move on, sorry. These are the features of the load balancer. And next is how that will work. We got a private endpoint, private port. We need the source IP, port, destination IP, destination port, and the protocol associated with it. This is how we can do. And you can see scenario number 2 is this is rather than 5 tuple. We got 2, which is source destination IP. This is the basic one, yeah. Then you can see the resource groups, how that structure will look like. Gateway load balancer between Fabricam or Contoso, Microsoft again, and then the resource group between 2 of them. What could be one? VMs, networks, communication via the gateway, UDR to each other, HA, something like this. We saw this one earlier, availability set between the VMs and the load balancer itself. Then we have the logs associated with it every 90 days. Also for all the other Azure resources, log actions, and then we go the alert for internal load balancer only, and then you go to JSON format. Then you have the troubleshooting. This is the guide from Microsoft where you can basically navigate and use it. Other load balancer, we go application gateway, layer 7, traffic manager. Yeah. So layer 7, what does for us? WebSockets, HTTP, HTTPS, reverse proxy, SSL offloading, URL based routing, traffic manager, DNS based level, work outside of Azure, internet facing only. Then we move on to the traffic manager, how that will look like. App gateway between 2 regions, like you can see region 1, region 2, two app gateway with traffic manager between them, and then the default pools, and then we have the load balancer where it sits. So this is the bigger picture of what we have covered earlier. Okay, so let's just finish that part. So what I have here, I've got my traffic manager sitting at the top with I've got my app gateway layer 7, where I specify the path to my backend, which is the VMs. And the VMs, if I need to load balance them, I've got my front end server pool, and they speak to a load balancer where the load balancer can forward the traffic to my back end like VM1, VM2, VM3, and so on. Now, what do I need here? Let me just cover the IPs as well around this area, and we can see next, we leave the NSG for later on. IP addresses, DNS hostname, DNS Azure, and you need the private IPs. Then this is how it looks like for DNS between the system, and you do the forwarding, and then you can do public IPs, address dynamic requirement, and then you will do the Azure VM unique if you allow it. And then the last part is you do the VMs which allow public IP and communication to the internet. Now we need an NSG associated with it, which are the network security groups. That's all for now. Later on we can cover the NSGs in more details. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.